Our beautiful New Zealander, Shane van Gisbergen, finally does it. 13 races into his NASCAR Xfinity career, finally breaks that ceiling and gets the win in victory lane. And let me tell you, does a burn out the entire lap around Portland International Raceway. What a hell of a way to do it.
Yeah, the burnout was one thing. The punt with the Aussie football afterwards was probably one of the coolest things I've seen as far as a celebration in a long time. But if you're surprised that he got his first win on a road course, you simply shouldn't be. I mean, the talent is just there. As soon as he kind of gets more and more comfortable on these ovals as he has been, it just seems like he's been getting better and better, more and more used to it week after week. And, there's always this thing where he's going to show up to road courses and probably perform. Almost makes you wish he was running at Sonoma, but what are you going to do, eh, Bob?
We have two Supercars drivers running in the Sonoma race next week with Will Brown and Cam Waters. And Shane van Gisbergen is going to be spotting for one of them instead of driving. It is simply a fallacy. He'll be running in the Xfinity race, so there's not even the excuse of logistics. He will be on track for the weekend. It's a shame to not have him in there when they should be getting him as much Cup experience as possible. I know he's already got the full schedule right now, but what's the point if you're not going to run him in a Cup Series road course race when you've got him in a developmental deal?
Well, even just from, even if not for the experience, for the marketing of the fandom, you could have 3 Aussie supercar drivers in this race, which is a huge opportunity to get into that international market, which NASCAR seems to really want to do. So why not put them on the track together? It just seems like a missed opportunity, especially, you've been so adamant about getting him as much seat time as possible. Why not find him a seat for this race? It doesn't make a ton of sense to me. It's really bumming me out, to be dead honest with you, but ultimately that's the decision they're going with.
And here's the other caveat is you have this report come out today with Bob Pockrass of Fox Sports kind of updating the silly season rumor mill. And he's talking about how if NASCAR does adapt this 3-car charter where teams can only have 3 cars, well, Trackhouse has already have the logjam of drivers we've been very notable about on this channel. It sounds like Zane Smith could potentially be the odd man out because he's, I think, 34th in the point standings right now. Obviously, he's been loaned out to Spire. Whether that's a research and development car, what's the issue with that 71 car? I'm not totally sure, but what it is what it is. He's not ran well. And for someone like Shane van Gisbergen, who I believe coming into this weekend after Portland in the Xfinity race, that's 13 races of sample size, 3 top 10s, 2 top 5s, a couple of top 15s as well. And here's the other thing to keep in mind, Ad. He's learning all these tracks, and there is very little to no practice time in the Xfinity Series right now. So he's getting first look at these tracks. Stage 1 and Stage 2 at tracks like Darlington and Dover are his practice laps. And so if you're thinking, okay, we want him to have seat time, why are we not giving him Cup Series time at Sonoma when the next-gen car is so much different than the Xfinity car? I just don't understand that, especially when you've got Zane Smith running out there for Trackhouse Spire. And if he's your odd man out, let's go ahead and make some moves here. Let's get SVG a spot in the Cup Series in Sonoma. People, make it happen.
And this feels like one of those areas where it's like, if you want to see how far guys come, you may as well give him this chance. Because the first time he got in the next gen car on a road course, it was, brand new track, nobody had seen it before, and he ends up winning the thing. Now he's had a little bit of run in Xfinity, like you said. Not very difficult for him to get used to all these tracks with the little practice at Xfinity. But I just think before you make this Zane Smith decision, it would have been good to see maybe a touch of a sample size, of just what does this look like with him in Cup on a road course? Was it a one-off in Chicago, or is this something that he is going to consistently do every time you go to a road course? I don't know. It just seems like you said, with the log jam that's going to happen if this 3 charter thing, ends up going through and is a part of the deal, I would have liked to have done a little bit more due diligence with SVG to make sure that that's your guy, because say what you will about Zane Smith and his performance this year, he's still a heck of a talent.
100%. I think that's the other thing lost on all these people is that coming into the season, he was a super hot prospect and was desired by almost everyone. They almost pushed Todd Gilliland out last year at front row for him because they wanted to get him some seat time in that thing. So I totally understand that. It doesn't even have to be an or situation. It could be an and situation where they both are getting seat time and see who's got the better drive time right now, because at the end of the day, the only way to get better is live reps. You see that with Kyle Larson at the Indy 500. What screwed him? It wasn't anything with the speed or the race pace. It was the green flag pit stops. For SVG, as many reps as you can get with live track time in the Cup Series, especially with pit stops and all of these different factors, it's invaluable. And like I said, it doesn't have to be an and or. It could be both of them in the car. You could throw another car out there. Project 91 could be out there. You could find sponsorship. I'm not running a NASCAR team. I don't know the logistics behind it, but I'm just, as a fan, disappointed that we're not getting the full experience, because we could have 3 Supercars champs, or Supercars drivers, like you said, Ad. That's going to be huge viewership.
Yeah, it just feels like a missed opportunity for